BJJ is an unforgiving sport, and nothing is set in stone. The Gordon Rhines and Kade Ruotolos have raised the bar so high that some athletes crumble below the bar.
Gordon is the best pound-for-pound jiu-jitsu player on earth. Not just the best, but it's a pretty good statement to say that you're the best ever.
While others don't even come close to the bar. But the love for BJJ has pushed many BJJ athletes back onto the mat continuously. And more often than not, they end up getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I'm f***ing salty, man. They gave the win to Penna. You know, it was supposed to be a submission-only event. I got like 3 or 4 or 5 submissions off. You know, they give this guy the win for some, maybe like a shitty front head attempt.
Hundreds of fights, but little wins to show for it. Can't string together a long winning streak, but they keep pressing on.
The people think the wrong idea. They think like someone that's like, depressed and stuff like that, like they're mentally weak. But like no, like that shows how strong they are if they're getting on with it despite feeling like shit.
Take a look at athletes whose records do not tell their full story. Number 5, Johnny Tama. Johnny Tama is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under the guidance of Juan Miguel Iturralde at Alliance BJJ. Since earning his black belt, Johnny has become one of the most active grapplers. Tama's aggressive playstyle, especially his collar sleeve guard, and his Estima lock, known as the Tama lock.
You want to go farther, you can go with your head down here and pinch.
Has made him a household name. Put together, this style has made Johnny the first Hispanic to ever win the adult division of the IBJJF No-Gi World Championship.
This lightweight final, Johnny Tama is going to be the 2019 lightweight champion.
Wow. But just as much as Johnny dishes it, he also gets it.
You'll sprawl down on this, we could see the time. There it is, time Ruotolos.
Every year, Johnny's competition for wins competes with his losses. He has nearly as many wins as his losses. With a record of 95 wins and 69 losses, Johnny does both sides. His longest losing streak was 10 losses in 12 matches in 2020. This was after winning the IBJJF No-Gi Championship in 2019. Maybe complacency set in because his wins wasn't a fluke. Johnny is always a hard worker. But Johnny has bounced back. This year, Johnny has been on the sidelines, mending his recurring injuries and teaching, but he managed to pull a third-place finish in April at ADCC Costa Mesa. Maybe a change of gym could reduce his losses and injuries. But for now, we await his return, hopefully with fewer losses. Number 4, Pati Fontes. Getting to the top is not so easy. Staying there is more difficult. This is the case for Pati Fontes. After earning her brown belt, Pati became one of the most active fighters in her division. Earning runner-ups in competition until 2015, when she finally broke through. Pati Fontes became a brown belt IBJJF No-Gi World Champion and was promoted to black belt. In her first 2 years as a black belt, Pati became a 2-times No-Gi champion, defeating all that came her way. But since then, Pati has fallen like a pack of cards. Pat has accumulated 21 losses in 29 fights.
Deep in, and now the arm is coming out, and there it is. Hips up, arm.
Having no wins from 2019 to 2021, but instead running on a 15 losing streak. Getting defeated 4 times by one of the best, Mesa Bastos.
This could be over right here. There it is. Mesa Bastos.
And dealt with by youngsters like Grace Gundrum.
Now they're grip fighting. Looks like Grace is trying to pull her into her guard. Pati turned it back over. Oh, she's going for the armbar again. She's extending. Oh.
Was some of the worst losses that Pati took. Paying little to no attention to her losses, Pat got back up and became a 5 times world champion with her win in the IBJJF Master Championship. This year, she took 2nd place in the IBJJF Master Championship. Number 3, Haisam Rida. Haisam rose quickly among the ranks in the Carpe Diem gym in Japan, and 2 years after his coach, Yuki Ishikawa, gave him his brown belt. He got his black belt. After some early success, Rida made the decision to go to the United States in 2020 and begin training at Assembly Jiu-Jitsu. At this point in his career, Rida was already putting on impressive performances on the biggest stages and had just hit the record for the second fastest submission at Who's Number 1 event.
Dangerous position to be caught in. And there is the finish!
Oh, man.
His skills did not go unnoticed, and he was invited to take part in ADCC 2022 as a result. Haisam, the giraffe, made the most of it by producing one of the most talked about moments of the event with his first round submission of Roberto Cyborg Abreu.
All right, we're underway.
Man, he's just like just something so simple and fundamental.
Rida, 2-on-1. Oh, look at this turnaround. Rida taking advantage of it.
Oh, he's going straight for the arm.
Cyborg is fighting.
Cyborg's in big trouble.
So Rida is trying to separate. He's got good control over the head. Now he's trying to separate the hands.
He's going to stretch it out.
But since then, an avalanche of losses has been associated with Haisam, getting only 1 win from 9 matches. Even joining B Team didn't give him a better score in the referee's scorecard. He has been haunted since beating Cyborg.
He's going to finish that one. He's got it. There's the
tap. But he isn't stopping anytime soon. A win could boost his confidence and make him soar again. Number 2, Aaron Tex Johnson. Tex is known to be a jack of all trades in sports. And you know what they say about them. As a child, he started with Taekwondo, then moved to kickboxing, adding Muay Thai to his arsenal before settling fully on Jiu-Jitsu. Because of his vast knowledge of different martial arts, Aaron Johnson fought in several MMA organizations, including Bellator, where he claimed the fastest submission there.
Gave up the armbar, that's it! And there's the tap!
Then he moved to BJJ, and Aaron claimed gold in the IBJJF PANS Championship 3 times and was an ADCC East Coast champion. But with his numerous victories come his shortcomings. Tex is not known for his consistency. He piles in the losses like he does his wins. Aaron Johnson has 14 wins and 11 losses in MMA, and 84 wins and 74 losses in BJJ. Even with the losses, Aaron still pushes on, although he hasn't competed officially since 2021. Number 1, Dillon Danis.
Dillon is an absolute master at managing to stay relevant without actually doing anything.
Controversial Dillon Danis was a sensation in his prime. He started BJJ at 15 and was one of the fastest athletes to get a black belt. In just 4 years, Marcelo Garcia awarded Dillon a black belt after gaining 5 brown belt titles in a single year.
You know, as a brown belt, he won a lot of things at brown belt.
Dillon became a shining star in BJJ when MMA superstar Conor McGregor required his service to prepare for his fight against Diaz. His stock skyrocketed, as he is still the most followed grappler on Instagram.
And then once he kind of got in with McGregor, that's when he started to fall apart.
Based on his accomplishments, you may think Dillon has an impeccable record. Far from it. Dylan Davis's record is a very far cry from his championship medals. It screams false, but it's not. Dillon has had an outrageous 18 wins and 16 losses in his BJJ career. He never fails to complement his wins with his losses, giving his fans heartbreak. Dillon has now journeyed to MMA and most recently to boxing. Hopefully he could rack up the wins as he is stacking bigger racks. Fans and critics are always going after the records of athletes to determine the best of the best. More often than not, these athletes are criticized for not living up to the expectations of their fans.
Time is expired.
But people should understand that there are so many factors that could play a role in the form of these grapplers. Injuries.
Are you on deck? Oh my God!
The pressure of staying at the top, a change of gyms, or even personal issues could pose a hindrance to the optimal performance of their faves. The same way you have your struggles is the same way they have theirs. They are not superhumans. Why not encourage them and cheer them up on their way to victory?
Any regrets in terms of like your competition career?
The only fight I feel like was a missing was against Sakuraba, and will be the fight I was seeking for. Unfortunately, I lost my son.